Alrighty, Mr. Gatekeeper here. Here goes another candy build. What I like to call a candy build. Right now it looks black, don't it? It's amazing what happens, man, when some of this paint when light hits it. This is a candy fade with a blue and green type fade. What you think about that, Jeff? You thought the skull would look good? I think it does, my friend. We got this fan to match the box for you, man, with the green and blue. So we got you a green and blue fan, man. Alright, let's turn it off. Explain what we got going on here. You really can't see the front. Let me turn this light on over here. Can't even see the front fade of it. When I get done showing everything, I'll unhook it and kind of move it around, let you see the front. It's got a different kind of look, kind of which angle you hit it at, and you've probably seen a few of the other videos of some of the other candy builds by now. And this is actually the very first box that my buddy painted. So this was his very first one, of him painting of mine, of my couple cases that I had gave him. So this was his first attempt at it with these cases, and he did pretty good, man. Nice little neat fade there at the edges, a candy blue over to a green type fade. And this is a straight 6. Alright, let me explain what's going on. This is embarrassing, it really is. But when I got done with this and got ready to test it, I quickly figured out that my little one pill over here, I knew it wasn't going to be big enough, but I have sold every single 2 pill that I own. And I did not realize that until then. Whew. My mind's been in the gutter in areas here the last 3 years. Well, we won't get into all that, but anyway, I am a single man now. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, it was a nice experience, so I won't lie. Oh, me. Financially, though, it was kind of rough the last 3 years. But we won't get into all that. Let's just stay straight to the program here. My good buddy Mud Duck, Mr. 409, I had to give him a holler. And he was nice enough to bring an old build that I did for him over here to the house and drop it off without a lid. I think we had used that lid for something else, so I just threw a lid on here real quick. There was a real pretty lid on there and everything. He kept it. So I had to throw a lid on here. But basically this is a dual 1446 box, but the thing that's kind of setting me back with pushing this a little harder is this is AB biased. So it about works the best at about 14.5 volts. If I creep it up over 15 or so, it actually begins to drop off because the bias gets a little out of whack on this particular box. So basically I said that to say this. I'm not able to really drive this box the way I really would like to for a good stress test. because I'm only going to be driving this with about 80 bird, and a lot of you know this type of box with this type of combination can handle more than 80 bird. But with 80 bird drive, she's working nice. She's doing what she should do. A little bit better if you ask me. I want to give a major shout out to Mr. Stickman up at the No Name CB shop. Major shout out to him. Hey, he knows why. You know, a few of you other will know why too when I take the lid off this cat and picker. I went with a port design on this, and I think I'm going to be sticking with that with all my 6 transistor amps from here on out. I had a feeling it would work well for me, for my style, and it seems to be, so I'm going to stick with that. You kind of have to go with what works for you, and you don't know what works for you till you try it, right? Alright, well, let's get this show on the road. Without taking up too much more time, I'll pop the tin off here, the lid, after I show what she's doing. Alright, you probably hear a little sound in the background. I'm hooked up to a 200 amp supply over there. It's in that 2x8 X-Force over there, okay? That's what the 6 pill is hooked up to. I do not have a voltmeter on it. She is dropping to 16.1 or 0.2 volts, about 16.1, 16.2 volts, okay? So the 6 pill is going to be on about 16.2, say 16.1, 16 volts to be safe. Alright, the voltage you see right here is the driver's voltage, okay? So that's 14.5 volts. That's the driver's voltage. Alright, I'll go ahead and show you what the driver's doing now. Variables all the way up. 2 1446s in AB bias mode. Alright, we're going to use the hot radio. I normally will use this hot radio when I'm doing a nice stress test, but I really need me a good 2290 Class C box, or even a 2879 box. Really, a 2290 Class C box, I would feel good doing a good stress test. But like I said, she's working nice. I ain't gonna be too worried about it. I already talked to you about that, Jeff, so you can hit it a little bit harder and get a little bit more out of it if you want to, man. That's, hey, when it leaves here, it's all, it ain't in my hands no more. Do as you wish. Alright, we got the 1000 watt slug in. This is the driver, and she's doing right there about 80 bird. Oh yeah, about 80, 90. Oh yeah, right there about 80, maybe 80, 85. 85 RMS. Like that switch, don't you, Jeff? Thought I'd try something a little different there. There's your preamp, and I will actually show that here in a little bit. Alrighty. That's giving about 100 watt, 120 watt dead key. Yeah. 650, maybe close to 7. 700. I'll just give it 700, maybe 750. It's hard to tell once you get up towards that scale. Alrighty. Yeah, she's performing a little better. I did have it at 13.8 when I talked to you earlier, Jeff. I had it at 13.8. I crept the driver up to 14.5, and getting a little bit more out of her than I initially was getting. Alright, I'm throwing in the 5000 watt slug now so we can take a look at the PEP. Okay. I've only used this slug maybe 3 or 4 times. Alright, let's turn the PEP on. Right there. We're looking at the top scale, where you see the 5, 10, 15, 20 is the scale under that. Okay. Where you see the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Alrighty. Door. Yeah, about 1700 watts maybe. Door. Yeah, about 1700 watts. PP. There she blows, man. This thing is beautiful, brother. And I know you've been waiting a while, Jeff, and God bless you, brother, for waiting. Thank you so much for that, bud. For anybody with patience like you, you got patience of a He-Man. Alrighty. I'll clean it here in a minute. I'm gonna walk over here and turn this supply off real quick before I take the lid off. Alrighty. Let me put the phone down 1 second. Try not to get too many fingerprints on this bad boy. Alrighty. Well, here she be. See if that looks any different there. Nah, it's too dark. One thing I did not mention is this is an all metal clad build. Every single capacitor in this thing, every single cap that has to do with tuning is metal, except the output tune, of course. And of course, for the reason that is you gotta go a little bit heftier once you go up a 6P and up, but there's your output tune caps right there. As you can see with this blue and white theme, metals are on every single point where you would normally have a silver dip mica. Here's your 120s down here, your 1000s. Those are the most expensive metals you can get too, man. Them bad boys are about $4.50 a piece. 330s there on the inputs. You got your tune down there on the input, and that's your input tune right there. And then I'll say it like I say in some of the others, these metal caps did not give you more power. To me, they don't give you more power. Some people believe I've heard many people, a few people say they believe it gives you a little bit more power when you run with metals on your output transformers rather than silver dip micas or something. But metals can get a little bit hotter and still stay stable than a silver dip mica. So you just got a little bit better chance of longevity of heating this box up, cooling it down, heating it up, cooling it down, etc., etc. Alrighty, next thing I want to tell you about this is a neat little feature. If you take a look in this area, that is your preamp area right there, okay? Alright, this is the first box that I've done this way since 2.5 years ago. This preamp has an invert circuit built into it, meaning as long as this amplifier is hooked to power, you can turn this preamp on with the power off. As you see, that LED's coming on, pulling a little bit of voltage out of the caps in that box over there, that power supply. But you can literally have the power switch turned off and the preamp on, and you can listen. You can have the joy of the feature of the preamp with the box turned off. So there's an invert circuit built into the circuit. So when you key the mic while the amplifier is turned off, it actually inverts the polarity to the relay, disengaging it. That's why it's called an invert circuit. And the second that you let off that mic, it turns the relay back on, and the preamp's back on. So, and it works flawlessly, sideband or AM. This is a Class C box, but we do have an SSB delay back here for you, Jeff. Okay, that's what that is right there. There's your delay cap right there. And I guess you can say I went out my way to keep everything blue. Blue and white. Whatever she be, man. I won't keep it stuck in here too much longer. Let's go ahead and turn this supply off over here. It's always good to turn your supplies off when you get to moving stuff around. I got you a quick disconnect on here also. Put the phone down real quick so you can quickly disconnect the top. Ooh. About running out of room to sit anything. I'm gonna just leave that right there. Actually take this driver and set this driver on the floor here. Alrighty. I was just going to turn the box around, because my favorite part of the box is the front of it, but it ain't showing up well because the light ain't hitting it. Here we go. There we go. That's my favorite part of the box, is the way the fade is on the front. That's the only reason I was going to go to all that trouble to show you the front there. So there's your power switch on and off. That's a preamp switch on and off. All right. Ooh, let me flip her around. Sorry, I've had to sit the phone down a few times. Let me get in the light here. It ain't real light out here tonight. There's your back sideband switch. There's your remote. Gold-plated Teflon. Got you some good stiff 4 gauge in here, man. And I will give one more shot of the amp this direction real quick. So there she is this direction. There's your input right there. Had to do the ground that way. I can't foresee everything when I'm doing a custom work like this. I kind of got in there with this big wire here, man, and quickly figured out I could have bent it down, but I knew I had to do this input tune. I was going to put a tuner right here. So I went ahead and you pretty much got the equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of copper there coming from that 4 gauge to the board, man. So that's adequate. It's carrying that current, no problem at all. All right, man. Well, there you go. There's another candy build out the door. To some people, when I say candy build, it might sound corny, but when you know I'm talking about candy paint, it don't sound corny no more to me. Got any ideas? Got something you want painted? Got something that's already in existence that you want painted? Or any kind of idea with a custom paint? Give me a holler and we'll talk about it. Make it happen for you. Give a shout out to Mr. 073. thanks to him, things been moving along a lot more smoother now. And things will be a little slower here since Christmas is coming around the corner. And plus, I'm going to be real close to starting on my bench over here, so I can finally have a real bench to work on instead of these little tables. So the next month or so, 1 or 2 months, is going to be a little slower than normal. So everybody just be patient. I think anybody's slow this time of the year just naturally. But because of that bench, even if it wasn't this time of the year, things would be a little bit slower. So I want to give one more shout out to Stick Man. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate your tips there with this design. With this port design here. I like it. It works great. I knew it would. I just hadn't done it yet. Anybody needing some work to your radios? Some very nice tunes to your Cobra 29s, 25s, Unit 68s, etc. Hit up old Stickman at the Stickman CB shop. Just look him up. I'm thinking about throwing his number on here, man. He's a good man, too. I think what he says is give him a shout and he'll help you out. That's who does my radio work, y'all. I ain't even got one complaint, man. He's done everything I've asked him to flawlessly. So God bless you, Mr. Stickman, and 73rd to everybody else out there. Major God bless and 73rds. Even though I just said that and I'm gone. Bye, bye, bye. To the next.